Welcome to Truffle Talks, the podcast powered by Truffle Capital, where today's leaders ignite the fintech revolutions of tomorrow. Here, we dive straight into the beating heart of innovation, from AI and blockchain to embedded finance and beyond. In every episode, you'll hear directly from the visionaries shaping the future of global finance. Stay tuned. This is where the next chapter of fintech begins. Welcome back to the Truffle Talk podcast. I'm really excited about today's episode. Our guest is Laurent Monéger, Director of Innovation of the Groupe BPCE since 2022. Laurent has had an impressive career path. He started in strategy consulting at BCG and Oliver Wyman, and then led transformation and strategy at SFR, and even headed the international P&C business at AXA. He's a graduate of École Polytechnique and Télécom Paris, so you can imagine he brings a pretty unique perspective at the crossroad of finance, strategy, and innovation. Laurent, thank you very much for joining us. To kick things off, could you introduce yourself in your own words and tell us a little bit about your mission at BPCE?
Hi, Alexis. So thanks for welcoming me. So about what I'm doing at BPCE, so my main role is to develop useful innovation for the group, so for our customers and our employees. And in that perspective, the two things we are doing mostly is some strategic work, I would say, to identify some potential disruptions in terms of business model in the mid and long term. And based on that, and depending on what we identify as the main topics, we launch some specific projects that I'm leading at BPCE. And obviously, to do all this, we need to have a very strong interaction with the ecosystem of fintechs. And so that's why, that's where the relationship with Truffle or other companies is so important for us.
Very interesting. So you are an LP in our fund. Could you tell us, in your own words, what were the drivers or the interest of the group to support a fund like Truffle?
Yeah, sure. So the ambition of the group is to support the ecosystem globally, and because we think that this ecosystem is paramount for us to develop new products and new services for our customers, and also to improve our own processes. So in that perspective, we need to have a very close relationship with these fintechs, and we have decided to partner with a number of VCs, and notably with you. So I think the relationship is started in 2017, I think. So
Absolutely.
It's quite a long story.
Time, yeah.
And we're very happy to keep working with you.
According to you, what makes an LP-GP relationship works? What are your expectations?
So I think the first thing to make it work is to agree at first on what is the ambition, what are the priorities, and what is the scope of the project. That's paramount, because if you do not agree on the starting point, then you have little chances of success. I think the second thing is to be able to quickly adjust the strategy and the ambition to what you really see on the ground, because we are on a very fast-moving environment. And you cannot expect something to be defined at T0 and then 2 years later on have the same strategy. So I think it's very important to have this ability to adjust what you want to do. And to do so, I think what is super important is to have a strong trust between the LP and the VC. And this is typically the case with you. And I think that beyond the usual comitology you can expect, having some very informal touch points with a very strong transparency between these partners is super important.
And do you have an anecdote of a successful collaboration between VC and...
Yeah, sure. I think, for instance, you may know that BPCE has acquired iPadDat a few months back. iPadDat was part of Truffle's portfolio. So we had the chance to very in the process to understand what were the benefits of this company, to see it grow, and to decide at what point in time to integrate it, to nurture the value proposition we can offer to our B2B customers. And I think this pathway for iPadDat was really impressive. I think we can be super proud of it.
Absolutely. If we can take a step back and go back really at BPCE and focus there. So you're Director of Innovation. So what does it mean for BPCE, the word innovation? How would you translate it?
So at BPCE, innovation is like in all groups everywhere. So everybody in the group at any level has to innovate. Obviously, we have some specific entities linked to innovation in the way that they are supporting fintechs or startups, either at Banque Populaire or at Caisse d'Épargne. And my role at global level is more to initiate some specific projects. So in that perspective, I'm reporting to the CDG, so Executive Committee of the group, and we are proposing to initiate some sizable projects that we think must be managed at group level. So innovation for us is managed this way, and the priority for us is to make some useful innovation. So innovation is not an end, it's a mean. So we do not communicate a lot in press about POC and things like that. What we want to do is to make useful innovation. So we really aim at making something sizable from the start. We are here to make some significant and valuable business.
But it's very interesting because usually when we think about innovation, we think about small companies that are fast, agile. Obviously, BPCE is a large group. Yeah. So how do you balance and how do you build this innovation with a strong pace environment?
Yeah. So this is typically where the relationship with fintechs is so important, because we obviously we cannot build everything on our own. So when you want to innovate, you need to at the beginning at least, to gather some pieces that you can find at fintechs that are really hard to find or to make internally. And so we need to, when we want to innovate on one specific topic, in most cases, we have to rely on external partners. That can be, by the way, fintechs or can be some very large companies in some cases. But yes, we have to rely on fintechs that are either in France, by the way, or in Europe, or which can be much further.
And could you share a story about like a fintech partnership that gave you surprisingly good results, like more than what you expected from this partnership?
We have currently one initiative that I cannot disclose at this stage, which is really promising, and on which we have partnered with a number of fintechs, and I tell you more about that in a future episode. In a future episode. How would you tell a company to maybe get in touch with you, or because we always say it's a win-win. Obviously, startups are agile. You have lots of customers. Obviously, you have a lot of structure. So it's a win-win. It could be a win-win if the partnership is made well. How would you recommend fintechs that want to get in touch, maybe, or propose you a product or a service to get in touch with the group? So first, they can call me or connect me by LinkedIn. But I think beyond just connecting, what is important is the story behind it. So what we expect is to have some companies who come with solutions, with propositions which really tackle a pain point. So we are not really interested in a solution thinking problem approach, because you have many startups on the field. What is interesting for us is to work with fintechs which have understood what are our pain points and which have understood the way they could help us solve them. And so this is what makes the difference between the company that calls you without really knowing what they want to propose, or letting you with finding out how you can use their solution, with fintechs which are much more accurate on how they can help you. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is obviously to understand our constraints, our specificities as a large cooperative banking and insurance company, and also respect us, because we are an old lady. So we also have some strengths. So they have to understand and respect our specificities. And based on that, I think we are more than open to work with fintechs that come to us with this kind of mindset.
Absolutely. I benefit from the fact that having you there and you're part of this big international group, to maybe pick up your brains on what you think are the big opportunity for Europe, maybe in the global fintech scene. What do you think are the strengths of Europe? Is there any blind spot that you see for Europe in the markets?
Yes, so in terms of topics which sound particularly exciting, obviously you have the CFO services, which is something which is really important. All the topics around blockchains, and blockchain is actually behind the word blockchain. You have a a large number of business cases, and some of them being very exciting. Obviously, AI is also a key topic for banks. I think the European landscape is pretty interesting because I'm not sure we have some blind spots. So when you look at the companies in Europe, I think all the topics you can imagine are covered by one or several companies. I think that Europe, and notably France, also have a very strong technical background. I think the French engineering schools are seen probably as the very best in the world, and I think this is something you can see when you look at the quality of the technical products we have. That being said, probably Europe is still a little bit as an handicap, I would say, on two topics. First, the European market is fragmented. So you see a number of companies which develop in France, Spain, Italy, Germany, but which can less easily reach a critical scale at European level. So it's longer and harder for the companies to reach a significant size, especially compared to an American company, which can instantly access to 350 million citizens. And the second topic, obviously, which can be seen as a strength, is the regulation. The regulatory environment in Europe is pretty tough, and it can hurdle somehow some innovations because you have to respect a high number of constraints. So when you compare that to companies working on other continents, it's pretty sure it's more difficult for our startups to grow.
Yeah, so if I understand you well, it's more the cultural aspect that is really complicated because passporting exists, but you don't sell to Spanish people the same way you sell to French people. So that makes it hard.
Yeah, it's true, passporting exists for the financial industry, but however, what I observe is that very few companies launch at European level at first. They always start with their own domestic markets before thinking about expanding to other countries. Even though the step is not that big, but this is what I see.
Just to go back on what you just said about AI, blockchain, and maybe other topics like open banking, maybe. How do you see, and what is the importance the group gives to those topics? There a lot happen in the coming month. In the latest month, in the blockchain space in the US, the Genius Act, Stability Act, etc., etc. Stablecoin is a major topic. AI, it's been 2 years that the world is on, really on fire on those topics with the, major companies being built. From what you can tell, obviously, I'm sure there are many secrets that the group keeps. But what can you tell us about how the group tackles those major trends?
So for AI, I think the group has communicated quite widely about what we are doing. So we are working with two dimensions. The first one is called AI for All. So basically, it's providing AI tools to all customers and to all employees. And the other one is called transformational AI, So it's about the AI which really impacts our business model, our business processes. And so on those two topics, we could speak hours, and probably you should invite Luc Barneau, head of data and AI at Groupe BPCE, because this is a very exciting topic, and I think it's worth spending a whole Truffle Talk about it.
Yeah, of course.
So that's for AI. And for blockchain, so we have communicated very little on purpose. So obviously this is a huge topic, both on the CIB side, but also on the retail side. And so BPC is working a lot on that. And that's typically a case where we need to partner with a number of companies because the blockchain industry is not so mature. So you cannot expect large usual suspects to provide you with blockchain solutions, and you have to find the right partners for that. So we are working a lot on that, and probably we will speak about it in a future talk
episode,
again.
Of course.
Yeah. And so that's the main two topics, and I think there is a third trend which is less communicated in papers, which is around open banking or embedded finance, or depending on how you call it, which consists in integrating the financial products and services provided by banks and insurance companies with services provided by other types of industries. And I think this is something which is really critical in the future, because I believe that there is a lot to do to make financial solutions closer to the customer, closer to the customer journey, to the customer tools, and especially I expect that to happen quite quickly in the B2B fields when it comes to serving the CFOs in their daily work.
Absolutely, and so we talked about the main three, but do you think there are other topics in the future that might be, major trends down the line? Quantum, for example?
Quantum, we are working on quantum. Actually, we do not expect quantum solutions to be some major game changers before long. Probably the earliest dimension to quantum for us is post-quantum encryption. Because we need to make sure that our encryption is bulletproof against new quantum computers. So this is something we are working on, like all the industry. But we do not expect, from what we see, quantum computers to change our processes that fast.
Yeah.
So what we're working on is more quantum-inspired algorithm, so which is actually not quantum, but look like quantum and can bring some significant improvements to traditional models.
And to finalize our conversation, first, thank you very much. Would you have a word maybe for our European fintechs out there to collaborate with you? Anything in particular you want to say?
Nothing particular. I mean, all fintechs which are relevant for the banking industries should feel free to contact us, and so I will be happy to discuss with them to see if there is any opportunity to leverage.
Well, Laurent, thank you very much, and thank you for
Alexis.
the ideas for the next episodes of the Truffle Talk podcast as well. And good luck with the year that is starting.
Thank you, Alexis. See you.